How's it going, everybody? Brian Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. Well, today is the day, the 2020 Prediction Show here on Wrestling Observer Live. Very quickly, I'm going to tell you how this is going to work here today. We are going to take phone calls for the first 40 minutes or so of this program, maybe 45 minutes. Unlike in previous years, this year, you must call the Sports Byline. The phone number, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Now, in previous years, you call when you hear the show, you're next. Not like that this year. If you have not called the Sports Byline, this is how it's going to work. When you call, producer Dom is going to pick up the phone, and you will be put on hold. We can have 5 people on hold at any one time. I am going to say, caller, you're on the air. You're going to hear a sound. That means you're on the air. You get one prediction. The only rule is you are not allowed to predict anybody's death. Make sure that your prediction is bold. Do not make some wacky prediction like SmackDown will remain on Friday nights all year. Well, that's probably going to happen. You can make that prediction if you want to, but it's very unlikely that you're going to win. You must make a bold prediction because, in fact, in looking back at last year's predictions, several people got pretty darn close on those predictions. And so if we have several people that are in line for the grand prize, the bolder prediction, the better. And so you must make a bold prediction. You get one shot, one call. That's it. 1-800-878-7529. You may start calling now. We're going to start taking phone calls when we come back from the break. No text messages. No text message calls. Or no text messages for your prediction. Must be a phone call. Otherwise, we'll have like 50,000 people trying to get the prediction in. So you must call 1-800-878-7529. In the final 15 minutes of this show, I have got a giant list here of every prediction from last year. I will read them all. We will find out who was a prognosticator and who was a fool. And we will award the grand prize at the end of the show. It's going to be very exciting. Get on those phones. 1-800-878-7529. Back in a moment. Wrestling Observer Live. Back in the show, Brian Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. The prediction show is starting now. And very quickly, once again, the phone number, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. I'm already getting messages here that people can't get through. Yes, we have 5 lines, and they are all full right now. So you have to keep trying. Once people hang up, a line will be open. We have 5 lines, and they are full right now. Make a bold prediction for the year 2020. Obviously, you could argue it shouldn't be too bold, because if it's too bold, you'll fail for sure. But you want it to be just bold enough that if there's 5 people that get one right, you will win because your prediction is the most bold. I've got the list from last year. Boy, did we have some bold predictions. But we do, in fact, have who I think is the grand prize winner. So let's not waste any time. 1-800-878-7529. You are on the air with the first prediction for the annual prediction show. Who is this, and what is your prediction?
This is Jacob from Rolla, Missouri, and my first prediction of the year is that Big E Langston will get a one-on-one world title match.
Just a match? We need more boldness. Is he going to win?
Well, I think the bold part is to get his last name back.
Oh, well, I guess so. All right, well, that's it then. I want to thank you very much for the call. Big E Langston, I guess that's the bold part, as Langston, is going to get a world championship match. That could happen this month for all I know. All right, to the phones, you are on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, Brian, it's Tony from Philadelphia. Not your brother-in-law, but Tony in Philadelphia. Thank you, Filthy. No, my bold prediction this year is that the leader of the Dark Order will be revealed to be Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy. I want to thank you very much for the call. Yes, for those of you that watched AEW, the leader of the Dark Order, the Exalted One, Dr. Claw, did say wonderful, although not exactly like that. So that led to a lot of people thinking that he will be revealed as Matt Hardy. I believe Matt Hardy's contract has rolled over, however. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out. To the phones, you're on the air. What is your bold prediction for 2020, and what is your name?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
This is Zach in Virginia. Just wanted to say, love the show. First-time caller. Thought this would be the perfect opportunity to make my first phone call. So, bold prediction is, I think that coming up this week, Tessa Blanchard is going to win the Impact World title, and then later in the year, because I believe her contract is up later this year, she's going to leave Impact, and wherever she goes is going to be immediately thrust into their males world championship main event scene.
All right. I want to thank you very much for the call. So Tessa Blanchard is going to win the Impact World title this weekend. That is, of course, the big match. Entitled Millennial, she was called by Sami Callihan, who is the champion. She will win the title, and then at some point down the road, she will leave Impact Wrestling, and wherever she goes, she will be thrust into the men's world title picture. That's the bold part of the prediction right there. I want to thank you very much for the call. All right, to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
This is Ryan from Cumberland. I predict that Tyson Fury will defeat Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel.
At Crown Jewel? Oh, he's gone.
Correct.
All right, he's going to win the title?
No, just defeat Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel.
Oh, you're just going to beat him at Crown Jewel? All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So that means we have to have a Tyson Fury Brock Lesnar match at Ground Zero, and Tyson Fury defeats Brock Lesnar. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
This is Jordan from Chicago. My bold prediction is by the end of the year, AEW and New Japan will find some working business arrangement.
Is that bold enough, do you think, to win this contest?
Right now, I think they're gonna do something. You know, maybe at All Out, we'll see New Japan talent at All Out.
Okay, so we'll say it All Out this year. The New Japan talent will debut at AEW. All right, thank you very much for the call. A very bold prediction. Do you know that last year at this time, somebody had some sort of prediction about AEW and New Japan working together? And 1 year ago, I said at this point that is a very bold prediction. And here we are a year later, they still are not working together. All right, let's go to the phones. Who is this, and what is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, this is Matt from California. My prediction is Shayna Baszler will win the Women's Royal Rumble. She will then go on to WrestleMania to beat Becky Lynch, and then she will hold the belt till SummerSlam, where she will lose it to a returning Ronda Rousey.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. We had somebody else last year that had a very, very detailed booking scenario, and I'm going to read these later, but I will say that it was very detailed. It was wrong. But when you hear it, you're going to be, wow, there was a lot of stuff that was right about that, even though it was also totally wrong. Does that make sense? It'll make sense later. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this, and what is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, this is Ben from Kansas, and my prediction is that AEW will create a lightweight heavyweight title, and the first champion will be the professional Peter Avalon, not the librarian, the professional, and there will be a return of Curryman in AEW. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So Peter Avalon will become the first ever AEW light heavyweight, I believe he said the lightweight heavyweight champion.
Lightweight, light heavyweight champion.
Listen,
yes.
if they create a junior title, he'll win if this is right, whether he got the name of the title right or not. Peter Avalon will win, and we will see a return of the Curry Man to AEW.
Spicy.
That's what I like to hear in terms of predictions. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, this is Carlos from Houston, Texas. My prediction is that Baron Corbin will turn babyface this year. He will win the Universal Championship. And here's the bold part. He will become the most beloved babyface champion since Daniel Bryan.
My God. All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. That's what I like when I hear bold predictions.
Bold, though.
Do you know that somebody last year predicted that at some point in 2019, Baron Corbin was going to become the champion? And he actually didn't. Although he was in the title picture for an extended amount of time. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What is your bold prediction for 2020, and what is your name?
How's it going, Brian? It's me, Jaime, as usual. I just want to say my prediction for this year is that Becky and Seth will have a wedding on Raw, and it will be interrupted by none other than Roman Reigns, or he would say that this wedding cannot continue because I am in love with you, and it would be not at Becky Lynch, but towards Seth Rollins.
So exactly what we just did this past Monday, just they're going to do it again with the men?
Exactly.
All right, Jaime, I want to thank you very much for the call. Well, we'll see what happens. I would say that is, in fact, a bold prediction. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for the year 2020?
Hey, guys. It's Jeremy from Minnesota.
Yep.
My prediction is that Minoru Suzuki will hold the AEW mid-card title.
So this involves them creating a mid-card title, and then Minoru Suzuki ends up holding it.
Exactly.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call.
Will it be called the mid-card title, or will it be called like the TV title? What do you call it, the TNT title?
Hey, what's interesting is there is a mid-card U.S. title in New Japan, and it may be held by Minoru Suzuki at some point this year. But that would not be the AEW mid-card title, and so therefore this person would be wrong. All right, let's go to the phones. Who is this? And what is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hello, it's Christian from Columbus, Georgia. My prediction is John Cena wins the title at Mania and then drops it at SummerSlam and announces his retirement.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So John Cena is going to win the WWE title. I'll give him WWE or Universal, and then he will lose it at SummerSlam and announce his retirement. He'd break the record. All right, back in a moment with more predictions. Wrestling Observer Live. Back here on the show, Prediction Show, 1-800-878-7529. Have one prediction ready when you call. We have 5 phone lines available. If it's busy, just keep trying. Very quickly, Mike, your prediction for 2020.
Oh, my God, I'm not ready. How about this one, though, since it needs to be bold, it needs to be outstanding, it needs to be front and center.
And quick.
Hiroshi Tanahashi is the first one to kick in the forbidden door and appear on AEW programming by the end of this year.
All right, my prediction, and by the way, I am not the grand prize winner for last year because my prediction did not actually take place in the body of the calls for the prediction show last year. So I've disqualified myself. But my prediction for this year, are you ready? And it's bold.
Yes, sir.
My prediction is that the road to WrestleMania this year, from the Royal Rumble through WrestleMania, will be one of the greatest roads to WrestleMania of all time. It will be one of the historically best periods from January to WrestleMania that there has ever been. And that is bold.
That is bold.
All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your prediction for 2020?
This is Tyler from Kentucky, and my bold prediction is that Tyler Black will head to All Elite Wrestling this year.
Tyler Black is going to head to All Elite Wrestling. I want to thank you very much for the call. That would be bold, I believe, given his contract status,
yes,
but maybe only because of that.
Yes.
Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your prediction for 2020?
Tim in Miami. My bold prediction is that by the end of 2020, Vincent Kennedy McMahon will acquire the talent, assets, and intellectual property of both Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling.
Wow, by the end of 2020. All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. My prediction, Tim, is you're going to be 95 pounds by the end of this year because of your new bike gimmick. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? And what is your bold prediction for 2020?
Peloton.
This is Liam in London.
Yes, Liam.
My bold prediction is that Vince Russo will return to the WWE to write Monday Night Raw. Bro.
I want to thank you very much for the call. It is bold, but, dude, nothing's impossible. Let's go to the phones. You are on the air. What is your bold prediction for 2020?
This is Jack in Montana. My bold prediction is that The Fiend and Roman Reigns will main event WrestleMania. It will be worse than Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns Seth Rollins versus The Fiend in Hell in a Cell.
Oh, my Lord. Well, Roman Reigns did tease that he was going to win the Royal Rumble, but he was teasing that he was going to face Daniel Bryan. So Roman Reigns versus The Fiend will take place at WrestleMania, and it will be worse Then the Hell in a Cell match. My God, is the world ready for this? Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
This is Andy in Columbus, Ohio. And Brian, I have a very specific prediction for you.
Yes.
After beating Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Heavyweight title at Dominion, Kota Ibushi will make his first major defense at King of Pro Wrestling. I don't know when it's going to be since G1's moved back a bit this year, but against Kenny Omega.
Wow. All right. I want to thank you very much for the call. Ibushi wins the title in June, and then at King of Pro Wrestling, he defends the title against Kenny Omega. In his first, by the way, major title defense. That's part of that prediction. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on. My big prediction for 2020 will probably be that a current WWE champion right now, not necessarily World Heavyweight, but a current WWE champion will become AEW champion this year.
So a current WWE champion, someone who is champion right at this moment?
Yes.
All right, will become AEW champion later on this year. I want to thank you very much for the call. Somebody could probably go through and find out the whole list of current WWE champion so we could narrow it down. But a current WWE champion as of today becomes AEW champion before the end of the year. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
What's going on, guys? It's Moses from San Diego. My bold prediction is All Japan Pro Wrestling will have a partnership with WWE before New Japan does with AEW.
All right, so All Japan forms a working relationship with WWE before New Japan and AEW form a relationship. Excellent prediction, my friend. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your name? And what is your 2020 prediction? Or 2020, if you prefer that.
This is David from Miami, winner of the 2018 Prediction Show.
Oh.
And I am predicting that in this year, New Japan Pro Wrestling will announce a deal to broadcast their one-hour show on ESPN2. And eventually, based on its success, ESPN Plus will exclusively stream New Japan's shows live on ESPN Plus.
So you're telling me that there will be no more New Japan World?
In the United States. The same deal kind of the UFC has.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So New Japan will go to ESPN2, and based on that success, the United States rights for all major New Japan events will be on ESPN Plus. Excellent prediction.
It's unique, yeah.
Let's go to the phones. Who is this, and what is your 2020 prediction?
How we doing? It's Brent from Albany, New York. I am currently predicting that AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling will have a working relationship as well as Ring of Honor in that.
So the three of them will be a triumvirate.
I think with everything with Ring of Honor, they could benefit from it, and with New Japan, it'll be amazing.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So not only AEW and New Japan, but AEW, New Japan, and Ring of Honor. Do you see how many AEW New Japan predictions that we have? This could go the whole year, and they never get together, and like 8 people hit that big fail. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your prediction for 2020?
My name is Gary, and I'm calling from Virginia. And my prediction is that Edge will pin Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to win the WWE Championship.
So Edge is going to return, and he is going to pin Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to win the championship. All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. That is bold because it is a WrestleMania finish prediction. It involves individuals, and one of those individuals is currently retired and claims that they are not cleared to return to wrestling. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hi, this is Ryan from Ann Arbor, and my bold prediction is that John Cena will appear at an indie show.
John Cena, is he going to wrestle or just appear?
He will appear. Whether he wrestles or not, he'd be on the show.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. So John Cena is going to appear at some random indie show somewhere.
Man, you know how you can actually pull that off? Try to hook up a deal where you buy a lot of Sky vodka for your bar. You know, there's a promotion, you get John Cena to come. Isn't that what he hawks? You might have to do it that way, because any other way, maybe a little tough.
I think that he probably should have said a promotion, but that's okay. That's how Tara won a couple of years ago. She said that Filthy Tom was going to retire from MMA or he was going to move into pro wrestling and wrestle for Beyond. She actually had a promotion that he worked for Thus, she was the winner. All right, let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for the year 2020?
Hey, Brian, it's BJ from Arizona.
Yes.
My bold prediction is everyone thinks that someone like Kenny Omega or Hangman Page is the leader of Dark Order. I think the leader of the Dark Order is going to be Pac.
The leader of the Dark Order is Pac. I want to thank you very much for the call. Pac will be Dr. Claw. Very interesting.
Got a good voice for it.
Yeah, sure does, actually. All right, let's go to the phones. Who is this, and what is your bold prediction for 2020?
This is Pete from Albany, New York, and my prediction is that AEW will have a partnership with New Japan, and they will compete in the G1 Climax.
So not only will there be a partnership, but the AEW wrestlers will compete in the G1.
By October, this will all be set up and put into play.
I mean, quite frankly, I hate to say it, but like if AEW and New Japan come to a working agreement, that's not really a bold prediction that the AEW guys will do the G1, but I guess they got to have the partnership first.
To be fair, though, I mean, if you think about it, everybody that you would want in the G1 to a point already could actually, in theory, do it because Omega could, Moxley already can, and Jericho could. Like, from there, you got a lot of, like, New Japan guys, so unless it's going to be an expansive tournament, like, it may be kind of a surprise, even if they are working together, that you have G1 people in or AEW people in it.
All right, to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hi, it's Kristen from Australia, and my prediction is that we will get Okada versus Omega this year, and it'll be the lowest star rating match they've had so far.
Okay, hold on. Who is this again?
Kristen
from Australia.
Oh, okay. And Kenny Omega will be the lowest rated Observer star rating ever?
No. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada will happen.
Okay.
And it'll be the lowest star rating match they've had so far.
I see. Okay, I got it. I want to thank you very much for the call. So another Okada Omega match, and we'll do the worst of any of them.
Imagine having a 4 3/4, and it's like it's the dirt worst.
It's 5 would be the dirt worst.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Well, that's bold. All righty, to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hi, Brian. Hi, Mike. This is Tara calling from Mesa, Arizona.
Former winner. Happy New Year.
Former winner. I'm here to predict that NXT champion Adam Cole and Renee Young will both leave WWE for AEW this year.
All righty. I want to thank you very much for the call. Adam Cole and Renee Young leaving for AEW. I don't know how long Adam Cole's contract is good for, but I presume it has to be for a little bit longer. All right. We're going to head to a break, everybody. This is what we're going to do. When we come back, we're going to take calls for 5 more minutes. So if you have not gotten through, you have 5 more minutes to attempt to get through. 1-800-878-7529. Back in a moment. Wrestling Observer Live. All right, we're back here on the annual prediction show. 5 more minutes. The phone lines are going crazy. But first off, very quickly, producer Dom, your bold prediction for the year.
Rusev and Lana will get a divorce in real life.
I don't know how bold that is. I shouldn't say that. We don't want deaths or divorces here on the show. Even though Tim in Miami had one, we'll talk about it.
Oh my God! But man, you see how much like this show has rubbed off on Dom. He's even thinking now in pro wrestling terms because when you have a divorce on screen, many times you know how those relationships go in wrestling.
All right, very quickly, you're on the air. What's your bold prediction for 2020 in your name?
Hi, my name is Cody. I'm from Montreal, and my bold prediction is that Okada will work an American independent show this year, and his opponent will be Nick Gage.
Okada versus Nick Gage in 2019. Book my flight now.
2020.
2020, yes. I'm sorry, 2020. Obviously. All right, thanks so much for the prediction. You are on the air. What is your name? What is your bold prediction for 2020? Not 2019.
This is Daniel from North Carolina. My prediction is in the fall of this year, the Elite will lose the first ever match beyond to the team of, I forgot already, the Revival and Brody Lee with Cody Rhodes turning on the Elite.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. The Revival, Brody Lee, And a vicious, violent turn by Cody on the Elite in the match beyond. Let's go to the phones. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hi, Brian. This is Steve from Omaha, Nebraska. My prediction is a triple threat at the Tokyo Dome main event next year, and it will be Kenta defending against Kenny Omega and Tetsuya Naito.
Naito, Kenny Omega, and Kenta for the IWGP title in the main event of the Tokyo Dome next year. A bold prediction. That's a bold prediction. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, this is Joey. How you guys doing today?
Very good.
My bold prediction for 2020 is Raw for 1 hour is going to be below 1 million viewers at some point this year.
Below 1 million viewers. All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. Raw will be below 1 million viewers at some point this year. I presume that means a regularly scheduled Raw. We'll get into that a little bit later on.
That's bold. That's tragic.
It's bold. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What is your bold prediction in your name?
It's Matt in St. Louis, and Tyson Fury loses in February to Deontay Wilder via TKO because of cuts. And Tyson Fury faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and loses to similar TKO stoppage.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. Tyson Fury loses to Deontay Wilder in February due to a cut and loses to Brock Lesnar in a similar manner at WrestleMania.
I actually really like that. If you're going to do something like that and you get that kind of fortuitous thing, you know, if you're going to do a mixed match at Mania or any mixed match with Brock, not a bad idea.
That would mean that they have to schedule a finish that involves blood. So that's very, very bold.
And two guys that would be all for punching each other for real to get it. I think you'd get it with those two. Fines aside.
All right, 2 minutes left. You're on the air. What is your bold prediction for 2020 in your name?
My name is Andres, and my bold prediction is that at this year's WrestleMania, there will be a massive rainfall, and because of that, the show will be canceled and rescheduled for a week later.
Oh, my God.
A week?
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, man, I don't know about that, bro.
I want to not thank you very much for your call. I'm planning to go to WrestleMania. I would be in a state if something like that happened.
Dude, you're in the state for it to happen with Florida this year. I mean, you never know what can happen with an outdoor stadium, and it'll be interesting when that happens because at some point you're going to get a rain out, you're going to get a snow out. What happens that next Monday? How much does it throw things off? It'll be interesting.
All right, we got two more. You're on the air. Who is this? What is your bold prediction for 2020?
I'm Matthew. My prediction is that either Dave or Brian will have their name mentioned during a WWE broadcast.
A WWE broadcast? That's a bold prediction. I want to thank you very much for the call. All right, this is the main event prediction for this show here. The last caller. What is your name, and what is your bold prediction for 2020?
Hey, Brian. This is Anthony from Salt Lake City. My prediction is that Keith Lee will defeat Brock Lesnar to become Universal Champion, and also Marty Scurll will debut as the Exalted One.
All right, I want to thank you very much for the call. Marty Scurll is the Exalted One. Keith Lee beats Brock Lesnar and wins the title. Yeah. All right, those are the 2020 predictions. Excellent round of predictions. I want to thank everybody who called. I want to thank everybody who called and couldn't get through. I very much appreciate it, but we must move on to last year's predictions so that we may crown a winner. I'm going to get my sound machine here.
Get it.
And we are ready to go. Ryan last year predicted that Moose will beat Johnny Impact for the Impact World title. Fail. William predicted that Mustafa Ali will become the first 205 Live graduate to win the WWE title. There's a chance that he could have if he were in the Kofi Kingston position, which Kofi Kingston got because Mustafa Ali was hurt. We'll never know. Tara here predicted the Revival, Sami Zayn, and Trevor Lee all head to AEW. She was a past winner last year. She was a fool. Lance W. All Elite will not only get a television deal, but after it initially airs, it will be detrimental to WWE ratings. Lance got a hit right there. Now, it depends on how detrimental you think it was. I mean, it didn't affect Raw and SmackDown much, if it affected them at all. It absolutely has affected NXT ratings on Wednesday.
Hey, you know what? I just want to throw this in there. I would argue that the centering of the week on those two shows and the vibe that it gives a lot of wrestling fans who are not rank and file WWE hardcores, the middle of the week, I think, in some ways has damaged the outside of the week. And I think you can make a case that it has. And I think the focus being on Wednesday night now and how they've treated Raw and SmackDown and the atrophy of those shows, I would argue that he's a soft hold right now as far as winning this thing.
All right, we got a victory there. It's my applause sound effect. Patrick here says, ROH will have to offer its first $1 million plus contract to get a WWE star. Fail, although they did offer some bigger money contracts, but not $1 million. Ian here says, once All Elite gets TV, for 1 week at least, their show will beat Raw or SmackDown in the ratings. This man is a winner.
Yeah.
The week of October 25 this year, AEW did 963,000 viewers, and SmackDown did 880,000 on FS1. So AEW beat them that week. The caveat is they moved FS1, but that man is a winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Person here, TJ, this will be the year that Hunter finally takes over the main roster. Matthew, Seth Rollins wins the belt at Mania, drops it to Dean Ambrose at Money in the Bank, and then Seth will win it back at SummerSlam, wherein Roman will return to feud with him.
Oh, no.
Very complex. Ryan says it will not be Carmella entering number 30 at the Women's Royal Rumble, but Linda McMahon, and she will make the Final Four. I laughed last year. I laughed this year. Diego, Mauro Ranallo will sign with AEW once his WWE deal is up.
I wish you did.
I mean, that could have happened for a lot of reasons, but it didn't happen. Cornette squashes it, Rich here says, with AEW, and the Bucks, and he signs with AEW in a consultant or commentary role.
Oh, no.
And you added that Cornette would manage the revival.
Oh, no.
That's for Rich. That's for you. Matthew here says, R-Truth will be a world champion this year by the end of 2019. Now, listen. Okay.
Hey, world traveling champ.
This guy is not going to win, but R-Truth became a multi-time champion this year. They chose him to be the face of this 24/7 title, so I'll give that a minor hit.
Good.
Glenn here says David Arquette will enter Bola this year.
It's close, wasn't he? What did he do? He did something.
Mike Sempervivi says the Chop and Rolls will be the number 30 seed in the Crockett Cup. Tim in Miami says 2 members of the Empire will separate from their wives in 2019, to which Mike said, "Can that be me?" Your wife and child better not be listening.
Bitch.
Steve, oh my God. Tom Lawler will sign with WWE. Brian says, in 2019, Zack Sabre Jr. will retire Minoru Suzuki and rename it Sabre Goon.
That's still possible.
Minoru Suzuki nowhere close to retiring, my friend. Dave here says, every big-name member of the Bullet Club will be in AEW by the end of the year, going back to AJ, all of them. Austin here says, John Jones will fail another steroid test. His punishment will be different from the standard, and Jones versus Lesnar will be announced.
Did that happen?
Actually,
possible.
The bold prediction would have been John Jones not failing a test this year, which in fact he did not. Matt here says, Filthy Tom will be in either Ring of Honor or All Elite by the end of the year. Tony says, Brian and Filthy Tom and Lance will team up for a 6-man in 2019. Philip says, when they do All In 2, they'll crown the first AEW champion. It will be Chris Jericho. He will defeat Tanahashi at Dominion and win the IWGP title and unify the belts. That's a fail, but that was a lot of things that he got right. Jericho just faced Tanahashi. Jericho was the first AEW champion. I'll give you a minor applause.
Oh, a little clap for that, a little Fells Point clap.
But you ain't winning. No, Carlos here. Velveteen Dream will go to the main roster, win the Universal title as a heel. Didn't win as a heel. or go to the main roster. Eric in the Go. Jericho beats Tanahashi at the G1 Supercard in Madison Square Garden, loses the IWGP title to Okada Dominion. Jay White wins the G1. Okada Jay White is the Wrestle Kingdom 14 main event. BJ here. Daniel Bryan will be WWE champion the whole entire year of 2019. John says Pete Dunne will hold the NXT, NXT UK, and WWE title all at the same time. A bold failure. Tommy here says AEW will hold a tournament to crown the first tag team champions. The Chop and Roll Express will beat the Young Bucks in the finals. Nice try.
Lost everybody else, but so did you.
Adam here says there will be a fully sanctioned intergender match, several of them on WWE TV before the end of the year. Landon says Pro Wrestling Noah will get its own streaming service, and you added that Noah will get hooked up with DAZN and AEW. That's a fail for Landon.
Fail all the way.
That's a fail for you. Jordan here says Filthy Tom Lawler will beat Low Key to become the MLW champion. That's a minor success, but the reality is that match had already been booked, so there was a 50-50 chance. That's not that bold. Dom here. Raw will stop sucking, and we will have a new photo of Brian and Mike together at a wrestling event. Somehow that was a fail, even though Mike and I went to WrestleMania together.
And had pictures taken together by at least somebody. All of you, me, Vinny, and Adam did. I don't know how this happened.
Denise here says All Elite Wrestling will buy Impact Wrestling and get all the contracts. And finally, Kevin... Oh, no, we got more. Kevin from Chicago. At some point during a takeover, Morrow will use the term Meltzer driver. Savan, Brian will finally turn on Filthy Tom WrestleMania weekend. I told you I'd never turn on him. Bruce, before the end of the year, EC3 will hold a world title before Drew McIntyre. Big time fail. We got 5 more. We'll do them after the break. Wrestling Observer Live. Back in the show, Brian Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Final 5 predictions here. Martin, Progress will reschedule at least 4 shows to accommodate NXT UK. That's a fail, although NXT UK did do a number on the UK. Robbie, Baron Corbin will be declared Universal Champion before the year is up. That is a fail. Eric, New Japan will get TV on TNT or TBS. You were close. That's a fail. Christopher says Kenny Omega will beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and then AJ Styles will win Money in the Bank. Cash in on the first SmackDown on Fox. That is a fail. And finally, Nathan here. AEW will get a 3-year TV deal for at least $200 million. I'm going to give you a minor hit. The actual value of that contract, if 3 years, would be less than half of that, and not even close to at least $200 million. So I have to say that looking at all of our mild, moderate, big-time winners, I hereby announce that the winner of the 2019 prediction contest is, in fact, Ian. Once All Elite gets TV, for 1 week at least, their show will beat Raw or SmackDown in the ratings. On the week of October 25th, even though SmackDown was on FS1, 963,000 for AEW, 880,000 for SmackDown. AEW beat SmackDown that 1 week. And nobody knew what AEW... Nobody even knew if AEW was going to get television. Much less they would get television and it would do great numbers. That is a win. Ian, you are the champion. Contact me, and I will get your grand prize out to you. Hey, I want to thank everybody for everything today. All of the calls, we were just slammed. I apologize if you couldn't get through. I really appreciate it. Maybe like New Japan next year, we'll do 2 days of the prediction show. But we're out of time for now. Thanks, Mike, as always. Callers and listeners, everybody in the studio, congratulations to Ian. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.